Hi guys, Melinda Fargus here. Welcome to Weekly Travel Updates. And yes, it is a whole nother week and lots of news. So I put a teaser out there as to whether or not you thought we were going to have an extension in these rules of testing. Well, the big answer is yes. Yes, Royal Caribbean came out today and said that they will extend pre-cruise testing through the end of the summer. And you know, once one big cruise line does it, you are likely to have others do it. But before I get started with too much big news, other than telling you Happy Turtle Day and that there's more than 300 kinds of turtles over the world and more than 179 of them are endangered. And turtles are older than dinosaurs, crocodiles, snakes. They date way back. So it caught my eye only because swimming in the Great Barrier Reef, when I saw and swam with my first sea turtle, it was like, oh, I have finally hit the jackpot. So that was what I did. But I want to introduce you to somebody who has a ton of knowledge, and I'm going to try and get her to be our speaker at our Businesswomen's Networking for June. We'll see. We're working on it. Anyway, her name is Elizabeth Duford, and I wish that we could give her a round of applause as I added her to the stream. Yay, Elizabeth!
Thank you so much, Melinda.
I made the mistake last week of just jumping right in, and I didn't allow my guests to introduce themselves properly. So let me give you that opportunity right now. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Sure. So I'm Elizabeth Duford, and I own a business called Love 360. And so I work with people who are dealing with chronic pain, whether it be mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, using Reiki, which is a natural healing approach, and crystals. So I basically have this proprietary system of Reiki and crystal healing that it's a no drugs involved, non-medical way, complementary medicine to help you feel better. And I love talking about crystals because one, I just think they're amazing, and two, because people don't actually realize how supportive they can be in various areas of our lives. So, and I was excited when Melinda asked me to come because I know that she's all about travel. And I actually am going to talk about some recommendations for crystals to take with you when you are traveling.
Great, because that was going to be my first question. There are a lot. I told Elizabeth that inside of Action Travel, most of you know, I've opened up Clay Street Antiques and Treasures, and I have a small selection. Just because of popularity, I bought a bunch of stones and crystals, not really knowing what they were, but just because I knew they would look cool and draw people in the store, and they have. And one girl came in just last week and she pulled two rocks out of her pocket, you know, the size of a rock like you pick out of your driveway. And she said, "Do you have any of these?" And it was, I'm not very good with stones, thus why I think we would love to have you as a speaker so we learn more about it. But she pulled out, and I said, "No, I don't have anything like that." And I said, "You carry them in your pocket?" And she said, "Oh, yes. This one is for strength and this one's for protection." And I had just never heard that. And, you know, I'm not all about woo-woo things, but I will tell you to have the opportunity to learn about things that God put on this earth, it was all put with a purpose. So I don't know what those purposes are, but I'm hoping you will share with us. And hey, Teresa Eddings, I did finally get to my comments. Tell us what is out there that we could use.
So there are a lot of different options depending on, what you want to bring into your life, because one of the great things crystals can do is they attract energy, and they attract certain types of energy that you might want. Like if you want more prosperity in your life, you could use green aventurine or citrine. If you want more positivity in your life, you could use rose quartz. So there are lots of options for drawing different kinds of energy, manifesting different goals, all sorts of things that you can use crystals for. But as I said, I know that you're the travel goddess, so I brought some crystals that are particularly good to take when you're traveling. These are also just good crystals to have in your home because I actually use them to protect my home. But they're great to have to carry with you, especially on trips if you're going overseas or if you're just staying local. If you have to drive anywhere, fly anywhere, they're just good to have. So one of my favorites, this is like an all-star protection stone, and this is called black tourmaline. And it is pretty much the best stone that you can have with you or in your home to repel negative energy. So, and that can be, negative people who are going to bring you down. It can be, illness. It can be anything negative that might come into your life. Black tourmaline can help you shut that stuff out. So it's a very protective stone. And carry it in your pocket. You can wear it as jewelry. You can put it by your front door so that nothing negative comes into your house. And it's something I always like to have with me when I'm traveling because of that. And then the next one, and I love this specimen. If you can, I'm trying to. Here we go. That's smoky quartz. Smoky quartz is a really cool stone. It is specifically used for protecting travelers. So it's something I always wear or carry, especially when I go on an airplane, because again, smoky quartz is very protective. It also can help bring you smooth traveling. So it can help kind of smooth the way. You might have fewer delays or, things that you don't want to deal with when you're traveling if you have some nice smoky quartz with you. And then this is actually my favorite crystal in the world. And I hope you can see that flash that it has.
A blue flash.
Yes. So this is called labradorite. And labradorite does a lot of different things, but it definitely, it can help you access your intuition so that if, something is coming towards you when you're on a trip, whether it be a person or a situation, something that you don't feel quite right about. You know how you get that feeling in your gut sometimes that like, I should not go down this street anymore, or like, I need to turn around, or there's like a little voice in your ear. Well, labradorite connects us straight to our intuition and also to what I believe is the divine, our higher power. It can help us read those messages, hear those messages that we need to hear from God or whatever you choose to call your higher power in your life. Labradorite opens up that channel. So you can get those messages that tell you like, whoa, look out, or yeah, go forward. This is going to be a good place to go. And then this is, I don't know, again, this is a little amethyst cluster. And amethyst is it's a very harmonious stone. It creates, good energy. If you're traveling with a group, for example, it can help you help everybody get along. It encourages, especially families, to stop bickering. It's a very kind of soothing stone to have. So those are 4 stones that I would definitely carry with me on a trip. And you can always bring your clear quartz with you too, because clear quartz is really cool in that it takes on the properties of any stones that's around, and it also amplifies the energy of your stone. So if you want to have like extra protection, put a clear quartz with your other crystals because it'll make them more powerful. So those are the stones I recommend for trips.
Well, thank you so much. Elizabeth does classes that explains about stones, what they do. I would really like to set up one of those kind of in my office because I have lots of stones and I have no idea what they're good for.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is like, you're obviously drawn to them or you wouldn't have picked them. So there's a reason that you got connected to them. And, as you said, I don't think God puts anything on the earth that isn't here for a reason. And crystals are ancient, so they've been here for a long time. And, I believe they have a lot of wisdom in them. So I'm actually offering a class in June. So I'd love to tell people about that.
Well, please put it in the remarks when
I will.
end.
And I will, absolutely. It'll be fun. It's called Crystals and Cocktails. So,
Okay. Well, we sure do thank you for coming by and letting us know. And tell them one more thing. Tell them about your protection pouch because she sells
yes,
these protection
I
pouches.
do. So, yes, the protection pouch is specifically, I say on the card that it's for home defense, but you can also use it, on a trip, or you can take it. You can use it if you're going to be around grumpy people and you want to repel some negative energy. And it has some of the same stones that I talked about. It has a tumbled black tourmaline, has a little tumbled smoky quartz, and a tumbled amethyst. So these are littler, and then it has snowflake obsidian, which is another stone that just can help keep you safe. It's a very, just promotes safety. And in every pouch, you also get a handmade crystal candle, a little tea light candle, and a stick of Palo Santo wood, which is an aromatic wood that smells really good when you burn it. So yeah, so that is what's in the protection pouch.
Well, thank you ever so much. And you guys, if you're a lady, I would welcome you to come down and check her out for more details. And it
Yes.
looks like we're going to try for June 6th, Tuesday, the
Awesome.
first Tuesday of the month.
All right. I look forward
Downtown
to that.
Mebane, we would love to have you. And we would
Yes.
love to have you. And thank you so much for sharing tonight, Elizabeth.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Melinda. I appreciate it.
I do too. Thank you again.
All
Talk to
right.
you soon. Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Okay, guys. So I just had to share. We were on a meeting together this morning, and she said something about um, carrying these stones for protection. And I said, you know what? You just need to come on my show tonight and tell people about that. So let me tell you back to what in the world is going on. Royal Caribbean has extended their um, policy of testing through the end of summer, and looks like everybody else will do the same. But it was pretty funny because it looks like in their wording that they're highly suggesting the booster. If you have had the vaccination and it's been more than 9 months, they are highly suggesting the booster. That wasn't where I was wanting it to go, but that's where it's at. So we'll take it as it is and we'll go from here. Um, you know, when we look at what is going on, so much of it is affecting travel. Like right now, today, Cunard, and I heard a rumor and didn't have time to check on it before I started tonight. But Cunard is canceling sailings. Even if you are booked, you could be canceled because the way that they are handling all of the cruise shortages is they are shortening the amount of occupancy that they will carry. So, for instance, that I heard today, the Pride of America, which does Hawaii, which we're supposed to do in October, they are cutting their capacity from 2,100 passengers to 1,100 passengers. It's going to make it nice on the ship, but if you were not previously booked, it looks like they are putting a hold on all new reservations through October. I will be doing a follow up about this before the end of the week to let you know for sure, but that's what it looks like to me. Cunard, on the other hand, has 3 ships, and all 3 ships, they are doing the same thing. They're going through, and the passengers who booked first will be the passengers who will retain their cabins. And if you booked later on and you were booked after the capacity line is drawn, then you'll be getting back a full refund plus 25%. And I think that Cunard's being really generous. They're making it go all the way through for use through the end of 2024. So, in their favor, let me say, I thought that was, if you're going to have to cancel people, make them happy. And if you can make them happy with a little extra money, that would be golden. Uh, I have a little bit of sad news to tell you. In Juneau this week on the Celebrity Silhouette, um, I'm announcing like the fourth overboard passenger. And there's camera footage. It happened about 3:30 in the morning as after they got back on board, leaving Juneau, a woman apparently jumped overboard. It said self-inflicted, and because the water is so bitterly cold, it's minutes that before a passenger is incapacitated. And at the time that I'm sharing this with you, she has not been recovered. Um, on another sailing, there was a passenger in Skagway, Alaska, and he looked to be in his mid 30s. He dove into the water and swam over to a beach. Observers that were on the cruise ship were watching him. He stood there a few minutes, turned around, and started swimming back towards the ship. Now, we don't think it was a cruise passenger, but this is just something that happened this week in Skagway. As he got in the water and he swam back to the ship, he was nearing the bow of the ship and he went under. And likely hypothermia, but you just don't know. That it's really, really sad. Things happen. Just bringing you awareness that, this is the fourth person who took their life, and we don't know about the swimmer. But if life is really tough for you, talk to somebody who cares. And your friendly travel agent is one of those people. So I am always there with an open ear, and we've been serving people for 32 years in just a couple of weeks, and we did that by relationships. And I don't want your business just for the next trip. I want it for this trip and the next trip and the next trip and the next trip. So that's the way we work. Right now, things are busy. We have been just all but covered up. It's been a good problem to have. We've got travelers who are leaving, who left this week for Hawaii. Hawaii's been beautiful, and they're having a blast. The passengers that are leaving next week, going on a long Mediterranean sailing, will leave next Tuesday. And I will share with you, I shared that last week we had a traveler who was in Rome and doing a pre-cruise trip, and the day before her sailing, she tested positive, and she had to stay in Rome. They put her in a COVID hotel, and they bring food, but you have to stay in that room. And today she tested positive again. So we will have to wait until she can test again on Wednesday, because she tested yesterday. Results came back today. So hopefully we'll have her headed home on Thursday. Her husband did come see me in the office this weekend, and officials there really urged him to get on that plane and go home, that there was nothing he could do for her. They're not allowed visitors in the COVID hotel. And when she was released, they would request a private transfer to the airport, which is what we did. And so now we have her booked to be picked up Wednesday afternoon and go to the airport in Rome, spend one night at the Rome Hilton, and get on the plane on Thursday, and hopefully have her here before next weekend. Well, that's kind of big scoops. Let me see if there's something else that I wanted to mention. Oh, I wanted to mention, do you know, or have you kept up with what is going on in Geneva? I'm just going to tell you, this could affect all of us very, very seriously. Look and see who you need to contact, and tell the people that you voted for to tell Biden please do not include us in a international treaty. It's during the World Economic Forum, right, that's going on right now. They're asking for an international instrument to control pandemic situations. For instance, was like in China right now. China's having a surge and they have gone back into lockdown, several cities. I think it's called the CAA. And if we joined this treaty, I really fear we are giving up a lot of our sovereignty because we're going to allow a League of Nations to tell us that because there's a hot spot in Chicago, that Chicago is going to be shut down. I'm just using it as an example, Chicago, or my Michigan friends. But that's the level of authority that this treaty seems to provide. And if you are not familiar with it, Sal Mazurko shared, and I shared it on my page, a page that's talking about the WHO. Now, they've had a lot of control during the pandemic, but I cannot imagine a president agreeing to allowing anybody outside of the US to tell citizens within the US what we have to do, what we could or cannot do, like putting a city in lockdown, putting a state in lockdown. I'm not ready for that, folks, and I hope you're not either. I'll tell you that I went and looked up more about it under the Real American Voice, which is on my Roku. So I'm sure you can find it. But I was amazed and shocked that we are to the point where, without anybody's full knowledge, I mean, I hadn't heard about this until last week, that there could be a vote this week and Biden could say, yes, we'll agree to these things in the treaty. And there may be some wins in there for him, but to have the potential of someone telling us that we could be in lockdown, somebody outside of the US telling us that, I'm not for that. Any part of it. I do not want somebody else to have control of whether or not we can live the way we want to in the US. Okay, sorry if I got off point, but I just feel like this is a huge thing to share, and our world is kind of in a mess. So, Ukrainians are losing 50 to 100 soldiers a day. That may not sound like a lot. The first person that I said that to said, well, I mean, they are going through a war, but those 50 or 100 soldiers are very important to the families of those people. And I don't know, Biden, we didn't back up the Ukraine, but Taiwan is getting in a similar situation. And Biden today said that, yes, we would back Taiwan. How and what they do in China, we have no idea, but we're backing Taiwan. So I'm not opposed to that. I am fearful when it comes to global control. One of the words that they said was a new world order, and if you have been in a church in the last decade, the new world order is not what we want. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And please leave your comments below because I certainly am interested. I would love to tell you promotions are going on. I mentioned the Charleston sailing just a couple weeks ago and was sharing that the first part of June, 2 people could get on the Charleston sailing, the Carnival Sunshine, and do a 5-day sailing, and it was just under $500 per person, and for a balcony. And we look today, there are no balconies, and the rates for an inside cabin were close to what we were looking at a few weeks ago. So if cruising is on your mind, just realize all these other people are getting their summer plans made, and I would love to help you make yours. And I thank many of you for the referrals I've received and friends of friends who are calling and saying, hey, we want to do the same kind of thing that you did for this family when they went to the Hard Rock, or we want to do the same thing you did for this family who went to New York and had a magnificent experience. So that's who we are. That's what we do. We would love to help you. Our phone number is 336-222-TRIP, 222-8747. And you can always grab an appointment with me on calendly.com/action travel and have your one-to-one time with me. Thanks again for watching, and I look forward to sending you around the world, because with Action Travel, we deliver the world to you. And without a travel agent, you're definitely on your own. Have a great day, guys. Ciao.